I hate these things. These ads. Look at these things. They're all over the place. In all seriousness, though, I did have to do some finagling with my system because my internal system firewall is too good for advertisements. So I had to do a couple modifications to even get this thing to show ads. It wasn't easy. But what we wanted to talk about today is that Firefox, for all the crazy things it's doing, has actually added Brave's ad blocking engine, which is kind of an interesting thing here. They didn't do it with the release notes and things because it looks like they're quietly putting this in for the purpose of testing things right now. And so this was in 149. They added in a few other features, but one of those things as some Brave components on rich content blocking. So that is quite an interesting thing here that Firefox is experimenting with. So effectively what this is just the way that Brave browser puts in the ad blocking in the back end. This effectively allows you to add any type of custom scripts. So to be compliant with YouTube policies, do not use this to block any ads, but you can block any given websites, which means this could be a good parents tool. You can go in there and you can block all of those nasty sites. You could block like Facebook. You could block any bad sites on the internet or really bad sites like those that like serving and distributing these things trying to get you to buy stuff. So you could do any of those with this. It's kind of actually an interesting thing. And I'm going to walk you through how to make this work here. So It's Foss has an article about it. And also I believe this is a blog from the developers of said engine. And effectively what they have done here is they have added in some tools that you can experiment with these lists. So they've actually put these into the about config. Now the way they're in here, it's still listed as test lists and things like that. So this is all disabled by default, but you can go in and turn it on. So you want to go into your about config and I'm going to copy this guy out. So if you just go to your about config, you'll get this page here that says proceed with caution. And then this allows you to do all sorts of weird things. Like I've done stuff in the past where you can actually come in here and you can disable geolocation stuff in your browser. If I can remember exactly which one it is, but there's that. You can actually do notifications. And I think most of my browsers, I think these are usually turned off. It looks like this particular browser, I've not actually gone through and done my hardening guide. So I don't know. Sometimes I forget which computers I do that with. But the latest one is privacy.trackingprotection.content. And they've added these 5 items here. Now you'll see this bold one here. I've actually already modified this one. This is actually telling you which lists. So I actually have a list of my own. It blocks a lot of session replay things that at the time I built my list haven't been on those lists. I think it is there now, but it is a publicly available URL that I'm not going to list here because it's not something that I don't have the bandwidth to feed it to everybody. It's just something I use internally. But I could add that just as easily to this line as well. I could add any site like Facebook or Google or anything I want to this particular thing. In this instance here, now it has to be something in these correct formats. This isn't like a full, hey, this is the site to block. It's calling for a list. So if you actually go and look at these lists, what you will find is it's going to be lists of websites to block. So this is your various blocking domains. So all of these different domains are blocked. So if you put something together in this general format, you could also serve it up and you could block something with it. So that's kind of what they're doing. Now to turn this on, you have to turn on this trigger here. Turn it to true. Now they have a protection and they have an annotation. The annotation will actually look for things in your list and log them, but it won't actually block them. And so you can do an annotation or you can do a full block. And so with that turned on, now the other thing you need to do is every site up here, will have this enhanced tracking protection. Firefox turns this on by default. You will either be using Firefox enhanced tracking protection or you'll be using this internal one. So you would have to turn this off in order to load this. So if I were to turn this guy on here, it'll reload the site, and it'll reload the site however Mozilla will have it load. And it will say advertisement here. We should eventually have an advertisement served. I was seeing this in my testing. But what we can do then is if you come up and turn this off, it'll reload it. And in theory, no ads should show up in those because I have those easy lists put up. So that is what they are doing. Now, all the instructions are over here at the It's Foss article or at the Pistachio Musings. So effectively, you need to come into this tracking protection, turn enabled equals true, and then you need to add some custom lists. And then this will provide a detailed instruction. The last piece is you have to come over here and turn off this privacy enhanced setting. And in theory, that will keep everything there. So that is what you can do inside of Firefox. And this is kind of as a test, it looks like. So there's no GUI to manage anything like this. So this is one of those things that Firefox has been doing a couple things lately that have actually been really good. The other one, of course, we talked about the AI controls. They gave us a single toggle button. It disables absolutely everything AI in the browser. And this is the type of stuff that is extraordinarily praiseworthy. Now, this crazy new mascot, less said about that, the better. But anyway, I did want to bring up to date of something cool that Firefox has done. They've kept it on the DL. But let me know what you think about that in the comments down below.